Have you ever completed a task, project, a piece of work, and left no time for a review at the end? And then you've jumped on to the next project and you've made the same mistakes. And then the next one, you made the same mistakes. I see this time and time again in business and within teams, in which we don't schedule time at the end of a project or a piece of work to actually have a debrief session, to have a bit of feedback, to identify what we're going to do differently. Now, I'm going to show you today in this video a really simple and quick process that you can go through that will future-proof your projects moving forwards. It's called an after-action review. I've used this extensively in the military, and it is trained into you all the time after every exercise, every mission, every task that you do, that you sit down and you debrief after. What we know around debriefs, look, it's going to identify problems for your business before they become problems. It's going to eliminate waste. I'm talking in terms of time, energy, cost, and quality. It's going to improve communication. And more importantly, it's going to create a culture of continuous improvement, which is all around delivering value, right? So let's have a look at the process around the after action review. So AARs, these are used, like I said, after a project or a task has happened. You want to be doing it as soon as possible, really. And it's around getting everyone in your team involved. And it revolves around these 4 questions just on here. So what was expected to happen? What actually happened? So it's that gap. What went well and what didn't go so well around this, and why that happened? And then the final one, what would you do differently next time, if anything? Really 4 simple but powerful questions to ask. And here are just some rules, just some general rules for you to get going, right? So it's all around encouraging participation. So getting everybody who is involved in the project in the room at the same time. It doesn't have to be a really massively long process. We just need to answer those 4 questions. It's around a team performance, not individual performances. It's around how do we work well together as a team. It needs to be done as soon as possible. After it happened, use questions, okay, really specific pointed questions to actually get to the root cause of why things went well and why things didn't go so well. Let others talk. So if you're the leader of the project or the project manager, it's about getting everyone else to speak. It goes back to maximum participation. View it as a learning experience, okay? All continuous improvement is around what can we do differently next time? What can we learn from this? You need to record the recommendations and document that for the next people that are going to do the project or task. It's no blame, so it's not apportioning blame. What we're trying to do is step away from the emotion of it and look at it, from a factual base. And then, if there's any training required, follow up with some training. In the military, we used to have a rankless, nameless culture in which we would leave the rank at the door, we'd sit down, and it's all around having candid conversations, working out exactly what went well so we can continue doing it next time, but then also what didn't go well. So, and I'll give you an example. So we used to run multiple expeditions overseas. And before we went to, let's say, for example, Croatia, we knew that someone else had been there the year before. So we'd get the after action review report, the PXR, we used to call it post exercise review. And we would look at that, who should we use for suppliers in Croatia? What companies? Where should we stay? What are the costings? What are the best flights? All of that information was in the post exercise report, which they conducted an after action review from there. So all that information come in really handy, because what it's doing is saving you money, it's saving you time. And we can have a look at the benefits here, right? So you're going to increase productivity because we're going to know exactly what we need to focus on. And you're going to have all the links for the best supplies, as an example. You're going to eliminate the waste, and like we mentioned, time, energy, cost. You're going to boost a performance culture. So you're going to increase that continuous improvement mindset. You're going to increase revenue because you're going to save money. That's the biggest thing. And then you're going to empower others by asking questions, facilitating that process of learning. The NHS in the UK use this all the time after any accidents or emergencies, because it's really essential. It's a bit of a debrief. And what we know is that we don't get enough feedback within organizations. I don't see many organizations or many leaders doing this. You are going to future-proof yourself. You are going to deliver value. You know, the key takeaway from this, it doesn't take long. It will stimulate growth and performance, not just in yourself, but in your team and your organization. It's going to transform those small teams into high performance teams, because we're going to be looking at how we can do things better. It's a mechanism for giving feedback and reviews around how we can do things better, quicker, faster, easier, with the best possible quality. You know, your projects and events are going to be delivered faster. They're going to be delivered more profitably. The quality is going to be better. And it's going to improve your team communication. It's a really simple process. Have a go next time that you finish a project or a task. Get your team together, have a quick 20-minute after action review, document it for the next team that come along to do it.